Hello? Your Health is Calling, where holistic health meets practical solutions for your well being. With your host, speaker, New York Times bestselling author, Sue Kostyk, a seasoned holistic health practitioner and longevity coach. Join Sue each week to embark on a journey to uncover the root causes of your health concerns. Through a personalized approach, learn how to decode the messages your body is sending and craft natural protocols to address them. Call in live at 888-994-4995 Studio A.
Good morning and welcome to Hello, Your Health is Calling. I'm Sue Kostyk. I am an integrative health practitioner, and my goal is to get to the root cause of the symptoms you're having. Not just putting a Band-Aid on your symptom. Symptoms are not that your body's messing up, it's sending you a message. And so in integrative health, we work with different modalities. We do some functional lab testing to kind of figure out that root cause of what's really going on. And while it can be overwhelming, my goal is to keep it as simple as possible. And so today we are going to just kind of go through some steps that you can start today with your health. And whether it is, a health issue or longevity or weight loss, or you're just like wanting to really biohack into, how you can just feel great all the time, we're just going to dive into that. And I want to give you some really basic steps. But where do you start? And this is the question I get over and over again, because we really try to make it difficult, don't we? I mean, it's when you think about your health and you think about different things that, might be going on, we want to make it hard. And that just sets us up for failure. So one of the first things that I want you to ask yourself is, what is your goal? There's different things. Not everybody is in the same situation. And, in integrative health, we consider body, mind, and spirit one thing. Nothing is separate. Your body works in tandem with your mind and your spirit. And so what is your goal? Is it overall health? Is it longevity? Is it your weight? And I'm not just talking about weight loss. I'm talking about people who cannot gain weight either. People joke about that, first world problems, but there are some people who are severely underweight that just cannot put weight on. So that's also an issue. Or is it your lifestyle? Are you seeing that there's things in your life, you might be under a lot of stress, there might be parts of your lifestyle that you'd just like to work on? Because again, we are all bio-individual, and there is not just one thing that we're all trying to achieve. And I said earlier, a symptom does not mean that your body's messing up. It's giving you a signal that something is not right. And just like your car has a check engine light, that check engine light goes on, and you have a couple choices, right? You can either take it to the mechanic and see what's going on, or you can pretty much just pray through, starting the car up and hoping that it gets you where you need to go. And hope is not a strategy. So, when we start to think about our health, and we have the privilege of social media now, and there's so many experts out there. And I put quotation marks around experts because there's a lot of influencers out there that are being paid by companies to promote their products. And it honestly drives me crazy, but that's another topic. So, there's the so-called experts, and then there are the people who have gone through hours and hours and hours of study to understand how the body works and to understand how, there's natural protocols to fix these things. And so, in integrative health, we work with natural protocols. Anything from the earth. It's not anything synthetic or, pharmaceutical. It's from the earth because our bodies came from the earth. So it only makes sense that we give it things from the earth that will nourish us and help us to get back into that balance. So be aware, you know, don't fall for the influencer who looks like they have their, the world by in the palm of their hand, and they are at the weight that you want to be at, or they are in the health age system that you want to be in. Please be aware of this because it's so confusing, and there's so many, I call them predators because that's kind of what they are. They're preying on your insecurities. And there's no easy button, there's no quick fix. You can try some of these things, and you will probably have results. But then after a while, it's going to be something that your body doesn't recognize. And so then there are other issues are going to come in. So, the adage is if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And you end up spending a lot of money and a lot of time, and you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. So early on in my podcast, I went through a protocol, and it's something that I put my clients through. It's something you don't have to pick all 8 things because there are 8 steps. And it's called the de-stress protocol, and it's an acronym. It doesn't necessarily mean that's going to de-stress your life. However, if you follow these steps, then you probably will have a pretty stress-free life. But, it's something that you don't have to spend money on. It's something you can start right now. And it's tried and true, proven. If you follow these steps, then unless you have some kind of chronic underlying issue, following these steps are going to, number one, maintain health. Number two, increase your longevity. And it's just stuff that you can do right now, today. So let's dive into this. So the first part of the de-stress protocol, and it's the D, and it's the number one thing, and it's diet. And I don't like the word diet because everybody thinks, oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to eat. But diet means what you eat. It doesn't, the original word for diet was not a negative connotation. It was what you eat, what you put in your mouth. And it's also what you put in your mind. They use the word diet for lots of different things. But I think we try too hard. I think we try to make it so difficult. And what you put in your body, it's true you are what you eat, but it's also even more true you are what you eat eats. And we're going to cover that in a few minutes. But your diet, it really is the first part of if you have a health issue, if you want to lose or gain weight, if you want to live longer. So that's why, it's not a coincidence that it's really the number one thing to work on. If you're trying to build muscle, the weights are secondary. Muscles are built in the kitchen. So, keep it simple. Just if you do 2 things, if you find yourself eating a lot of fast food or a lot of processed foods, if you change those 2 things and don't go through the drive-through and eat whole food, your life is going to change. No processed foods. What does that mean? It means fresh fruits and vegetables. It means meat, grass-fed, pasture-raised, beef, chicken, wild-caught seafood. You don't want farmed seafood, and we'll go over that in a few minutes as well. But honestly, your diet, it's really, if you only do one thing, I beg you, work on your diet. And, when we talk about the food we eat, we've grown up in such a microwave society, and we want things fast, and we want them now, and, we're busy and we don't have time. But slowing it down a little bit and taking the time to cook your own food, is going to be a game changer as well. So the E in the de-stress protocol is exercise. And exercise is not a dirty word. Exercise, we were created to move. That's why we have joints. That's why we have ligaments and tendons and muscles. We were made to move. We were not made to sit at a desk for 8, 10, 12 hours a day. We were not made to sit in front of the television on a couch for hours at a time. We were made to move. And the American Heart Association has said that for heart healthy longevity, 10,000 steps a day is what helps get you there. There are so many studies on PubMed, you can Google it, about walking. People that walk every day live longer. It's proven. There's percentages. I'm not going to throw out a bunch of percentages to you, but it's an extraordinary percentage that improves your lifestyle and your longevity if you walk every day. And it's not even like the 10,000 steps. It's really like 7,000 steps. But, move every day. And if you do work out, if you're one of those people that goes to the gym for a few hours a day because you have a really stressful life, you're punishing yourself actually. When you work out under stress, you're actually pouring more stress onto your body. So after a stressful day, it's actually better just to go out for a walk in nature. And that just helps reset your nervous system. If you do go to the gym, don't punish yourself with workouts. If you have a bad eating day, don't punish yourself with a workout, because that's just setting your mindset up to view exercise as a punishment. And actually, exercise should be viewed as a glory of what your body is capable of. Think about hiking, biking, all the endurance people, people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s that are bodybuilders and doing ultra marathons and things like that. So if you consider exercise as something that you're actually, your body is actually gifting you with that ability. So all of these, I put most of my clients through this protocol. And so, you can get more information about this if you just email support@helloyourhealthiscalling.com. And I did go into way in depth in each one of these letters earlier on. You can do a YouTube search, Hello, Your Health is Calling, and search back, and you will see how each one, I think I spent a week on each letter. So the next one is stress reduction. So, how stressed are you? If you live in a highly stressful world, then you need to pay attention to this part of it, because the damage that you are doing to your nervous system is pretty great. And I have said 1,000 times that we're never going to be stressless. It's impossible in the world we live in, the busy society that we are. If you are a parent, if you are caring for an adult parent, there's just so much around us that causes stress. So understanding stress and the different things that you can do. Again, I went into great detail on this particular topic earlier, and you can do a search on YouTube for it. Or again, email me and we can have a chat about it. But if your nervous system is dysregulated, which constant chronic stress is going to cause that, then your digestion isn't working, your hormones aren't working, your mental, you're not thinking straight. The different things that stress causes, it lowers your metabolism. It weakens your immune system. And, there's a lot of different things that happen when we're stressed. It's like stress reduction part 2. We're fatigued. We're not able to get that sleep. We feel a lot of anxiety and depression. So understanding how stress affects you, and we could move to the next slide, please, and possibly learning how to manage things a little bit better. You know, I I always am careful when I'm talking about stress because it's such a huge thing in people's lives. And when we talk about the effects of stress on our life, it also causes something called insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is starting to become a really huge thing in people's lives, and lowering your metabolism and weakening your immune system. Stress can make you sick. And I do believe that stress will be named as one of the number one killers because it also weakens your system so that you're, starting to get into these chronic heart issues. So if we can advance to the next slide, please. And, pausing throughout your day, if you are in a super stressful work situation, and find yourself sitting at a desk staring at a screen, I always recommend that you, for every 50 minutes, 50, you take 10 minutes off. And that just helps reset, and if you can get outside, then getting outside in some sunshine, even if it's not sunny, if you're just getting outside in the daylight, that's going to really help reduce that stress. You know, um, Fatigue and sleep loss is also caused by stress. And, there's a lot of cortisol that is released when we're under a lot of stress. So if your body is constantly in fight or flight, you're not getting that rest that you need. So stress reduction is really a big one. The next one is toxin removal. And this, we talked a little bit about it with the food, with the diet. But, toxins are everywhere. You can't escape it. It's in our food, it's in our water, our beauty products. Now, ladies, if you wear makeup, if you use skincare, even your shampoo and conditioner and, gosh, the dry shampoo, we tend to put over 500 toxins on our skin on a daily basis. Once you put something on your skin, it is absorbed within seconds. It's like you can't wash it off quick enough. So we really need to take a look at what we're putting on our skin, our beauty products, our cleaning and household products, very toxic. There's a list of things to look for. For all of beauty products, cleaning, household products, all those things, you can go to the ewg.org, and they rate thousands of products for their toxicity. It's really a great resource to have when you're trying to detox your home or your beauty products. And also the air we breathe, we're surrounded by toxins. So toxin removal is a big one. And I talk about functional medicine detoxes. There's a lot of things you can do, but just being aware that this is part of the protocol to making sure that you're going to live a long life, that you're minimizing disease. And anytime you're trying to change something, we need to take a look at the toxins that are around us, even our cookware. It's really, I say this all the time, it's amazing that we're just actually walking around living and breathing, but we are just surrounded 100% by toxins. So that's another thing. And also for beauty products, there is a website called Think Dirty, and you can put in, or I think you can even just scan the barcode, and it'll give you the rating. Sorry, I'm going to take a drink of water. It'll give you the rating of that product. And again, any detail you want to dive into any of these things, please send me a note to support@helloyourhealthiscalling.com. So the R in the de-stress protocol is rest. and it goes hand in hand with the stress part. So, rest is when we heal, and it's when your liver does all of its phases. There's 2 phases of detoxification. And so, prioritizing sleep, some people may be laughing because they're like, oh, when do you have time to sleep? But honestly, 7 to 9 hours is what you need. And I get laughed at all the time when I even say 7 hours. There are people who think that they can survive on 5 hours of sleep at night. And they may be functioning, are they the ones that are shooting the caffeine and the energy drinks all day? So it is impossible for your body to heal on 5 hours of sleep. It really does take almost 9 hours for your liver to complete both phases of detoxification. And I know that's getting kind of sciencey, but it's really, really important. So prioritizing sleep, okay, so there's 3 categories and I wrote them in here. Are you wired? So you can't go to sleep. The second one is wired and tired. That means you're so tired that you can't go to sleep. And then there's those people who are just tired all the time and they're living off of caffeine and energy drinks. So any one of these 3 is not going to help you prioritize sleep. So what really needs to happen is to find out why you're in any one of those 3 categories. And there's simple cortisol tests, because really the thing about all 3 of those categories is it's a cortisol issue, and cortisol is your fight or flight hormone. It is your stress hormone. It's what keeps you safe when you're under stress. But what's happened is we're chronically in fight or flight. So your body's going through this process, and at the end of tired all the time is adrenal fatigue. And so that's where you don't want to be. That's when those inflammatory diseases start to set in. So if you find yourself wired and can't fall asleep, that is a indication that we need to see where your cortisol levels are. And it's a very simple at-home test that we can do. So, rest, it's important. And I'm happy to talk further about any one of these things that we're talking about. I'm really doing, a very quick overview of this. So the next one, and so let's talk about sleep reset. So 10 to 6, 10 p.m., 6 a.m., that is when your body resets. Your body it's made to follow the sun. So at 6 a.m., I know that there's variations throughout the time of the year. So this is just approximates, okay? So sometimes it can be 5 a.m., but let's just say for all intents and purposes, 6 a.m. is when sun rises. So your body starts to wake up. Your natural diurnal rhythm is to start waking up, your cortisol slowly rising so that you wake up, and then throughout the day it peaks, then it lowers, and then by 10 p.m. your cortisol is at its lowest, your melatonin is at its highest, and that's when you go to sleep. So that is the natural diurnal rhythm. So how do you reset your sleep? If you are wired and you can't go to sleep, if you're up till 1 in the morning, some things that you can do. So there's the 3-2-1 concept. Don't eat 3 hours before you go to bed. Just cut it off. If you go to bed at 10, stop eating at 7. Don't have liquid 2 hours before you go to bed. So that's going to help keep your getting up to go to the bathroom at bay. It does. If you're one of those people that drinks a lot of fluids, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to not drink for 2 hours. And I'm not saying, you can have sips of water. That's not it. It's just, don't have that big cup of tea an hour before you go to bed. So, and then an hour before you go to bed, shut off the screens. Put your phone away, put your laptop away, shut off the TV, grab a book. anything that's going to help calm your mind. Don't dig into a mystery though, because that's not going to calm your mind, but you get what I'm saying. So, and then if you are that night owl, start going to bed 30 minutes earlier. Like if you go to bed at 1. So the first week, start to go to bed at 12:30. The second week, start to go to bed at 12. The third week, 11:30. You see what I'm saying? So just start to adjust that. And if you need some kind of sleep assist, stay away from the Advil PMs and all those the Z-Quils, all those things. Just maybe go for something that has some L-theanine in it, some GABA, some melatonin. CBD is great for calming your nervous system and just getting you sleepy. I have lots of things I vetted. If you want to hear anything more about that, support at helloyourhealthiscalling.com. I can get you those suggestions. Another great thing is to get morning light. First thing in the morning, get outside, no sunglasses on. Get that morning light on your eyes. It stimulates your body, and it's like telling your body that you're awake. The serotonin, the melatonin, all those hormones are going to start producing naturally. So those are just some tips about resetting your sleep. The next letter is emotions. And we're going to have to go quickly. So there's 9 toxic emotions. And there's resentment, discomfort, anger, disappointment, guilt, shame, anxiety, sadness, bitterness. Those are the 9 toxic ones. And emotions are bad. They're meant for a reason, and some of them actually can save your life. But what you need to understand is sitting in any one of these emotions for too long is when they become toxic. And so understanding those emotions, and there's a lot of things you can do to work through them. Again, I spent a couple of weeks on this particular one way back when. And emotions are really one of those things you need to understand. You need to clean them up. And gratitude is one of those things. It's so cliche, but it's not. If you start to practice gratitude, it's easier to overcome some of these emotions instead of sitting in them and letting them stew. And also what happens when you sit in these emotions for too long is your fight or flight is going to stay too long. So like I said, everything's tied together. Our body is just one thing, and our body, mind, and spirit is just one thing. So we need to make sure that we're taking care of all of these different things. And so the next one is supplements. And supplementation is really important, especially now, because we cannot get all of these things from the food that we eat and the vegetables and stuff, and for all the reasons that I explained previous times. But supplementation is one of the easiest things you can do to help your body along. And it's with a multivitamin. It's with extra magnesium. Every human being is deficient in magnesium, and magnesium is one of the things that you need if you're really stressed out. So that's a really big one. Digestive enzymes. We're having a really hard time digesting the foods that we eat. So adding an enzyme to help you digest is really a great way to keep your health in line. Omega-3. We are so omega-6, high in omega-6s. Omega-3 is the good fat. Omega-6 is the inflammatory fat. Because of our ultra-processed diet, we're super high. Our ratio is way off. So adding an omega-3, vitamin D, most people, especially if you live in the sun, you are vitamin D deficient because you're putting sunscreen on and you're not absorbing that vitamin D through the sun. So that's a really important one. A probiotic that's going to help your gut flora. Adaptogens, all those things. Adaptogens, they are exactly what they say. They help your body adapt. So if you are under a lot of stress, we've all heard ashwagandha, great adaptogen, flower, passion flower, another great one, chamomile. There's so many great adaptogens out there. Zinc, super important to your immune system, helps regulate hormones. It's just a really, really great supplement. So those are just some those are just ones that you could do. Don't go to CVS, Walgreens, Costco, Walmart to get them. Find a really good quality one. Again, email me. I will send you different options that are really good quality, have been third-party tested. You know what you're getting. The last thing I want to talk about is your success mindset. And my last two podcasts that I did was about success mindset, because your mind is so powerful. If you think you will fail, you will. Your mind is all set up to protect you. And if you're trying to change something, it's thinking that already of whether you're going to fail or not. So positive mindset, know you can do hard things, change your mind. Just keep thinking about the end goal and keep your expectations very realistic. Make small goals. Stop procrastinating. Procrastination usually comes out of overwhelm. So if you keep your goals small and you have a lot of little wins along the way, you're more likely to be successful in anything you're doing. The SMART goals. We've heard that all over the place. Keep your goals SMART. And those are the things that are going to really help set you up for success. So I hope that these have been helpful. Your health is not a hobby. It's so important that you're listening to your body, that if your body is sending you a signal in the form of a symptom, it's so important that you recognize it as that. It's not that your body is messing up. It's just telling you that something is not right. So send me an email, support@Hello Your Health is Calling. Let's talk about your symptoms. Let's talk about what we can do to get you on the road to health, to longevity, and to great living. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.
Thank you for tuning in to another empowering episode of Hello, Your Health is Calling with Sue Kostyk. Remember, your health journey is ongoing, and we're here to support you every step of the way. If you have any questions, insights, or stories to share, don't hesitate to reach out. You can connect with us on social media or call in live at 888-994-4995 Studio A. Together, we're transforming lives and embracing holistic well-being. Until next time, prioritize your health, and remember, your health is calling.